morning show host at WFRE Radio here in Frederick, Maryland. Honored to be here. On behalf of the Frederick Police Department, I welcome everyone to the graduation of our 61st Student Officer Training class. Would you please silence your phones? And please rise. And will uniformed personnel please cover for the entrance of the graduation class, who will be accompanied by the Howard and Montgomery County Police Joint Pipes and Drums. Will you please remain standing, and will uniformed members stand at attention for the presentation of the colors by the Frederick Police Department, the singing of the national anthem by Officer First Class Robert Quinton, and the delivery of our invocation.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, we're so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land from the brave.
Thank you, Officer First Class Quentin. With us this afternoon to deliver the invocation is Chaplain Rob Apgar-Taylor from the Frederick Police Department Chaplain Corps.
Let us pray. God of justice, God of mercy, we come before you this day remembering your mercy and grace for us all. Grant your blessing upon these as they now complete their academy training and begin their careers in law enforcement. Give to them your strength, your fortitude, and your compassion, that they may serve their communities with courage and with pride. For to you, Holy One, belongs glory and honor, both now and forever. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Apgar-Taylor. Will everyone well? Please be seated. Thank you. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to recognize some special guests with us today, some of whom represent agencies with student officers graduating today. From the Board of Aldermen for the City of Frederick, Kelly Russell. Frederick Police Department Chief Edward Hargis and members of his command staff. Frederick County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Chuck Jenkins and members of his command staff. From the Hagerstown Police Department, Chief Joseph Kiefer and members of his command staff. And from the Frederick Police Department's training staff, Sergeant Kevin Meyer, Corporal Dan Sullivan, and Officer Greg Santangelo. Chief Hargis and the command staff of the Frederick Police Department would like to thank the training staff for their hard work and dedication in preparing the class for their next journey. None of this would be possible without the support of the families of each graduating recruit during these last 7 months. They would also like to thank the number of agencies in attendance today for giving the Frederick Police Department the opportunity to train such dedicated young men and women. It's now my pleasure to introduce Alderman Kelly Russell from the City of Frederick.
Good afternoon, everyone. I send regrets from Mayor O'Connor, who had a last-minute emergency to attend to, so I'm honored to be standing in for him. And I did want to offer his remarks for you. Good afternoon. It is my honor to greet the family, friends, guests, allied agency representatives, elected officials, and most importantly, the members of the 61st Frederick Police Academy class. I have had a couple of opportunities to observe you over the last 8 months, and I am inspired by your progress from a classroom full of nervous recruits on day 1 to confident police officers poised to fully accept the responsibilities of the law enforcement profession ahead of you today. Congratulations. This is an accomplishment for which you should be very proud in getting selected by your respective agencies to make this journey, and as importantly, making it to this stage today. You followed through on the simple day 1 command, don't quit. Through the challenges, obstacles, and triumphs of your training since January, you have persevered, and it is that attitude that will carry you through every day of your career moving forward. Each of you represents hundreds who tried and would wish to be here where you are right now. And you will be forever connected to each other through your careers because of this shared experience and your unique contributions, being shy, smart, quiet, awkward, or funny to this team. And you will honor all those who did not make it to this stage, for whatever the reason, today and every day, by your ethical decision-making and how you conduct yourself with your colleagues in your personal relationships and with every person you will meet professionally in this job. It is also important for me, on behalf of this community, to say thank you. Thank you for the sacrifices you have made to be here today, and for the sacrifices you will make over the course of your careers. Like your training, the days ahead will bring challenges, obstacles, and triumphs. But now you know the secret. Don't quit. And let me add a thank you to those who got you here, your family and friends. Your support and your sacrifice cannot be understated. Graduates, these people who are here to share this moment with you are as invested in your success and safety as you are. And that includes those of us in the communities in which you will serve. These are challenging times to be entering law enforcement, but the work has never been more important. For the best of what you represent and are capable of becoming, our communities are here to support you. I wish you every success. I thank you, and I also thank you from my heart. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alderman Russell. It's now my pleasure to introduce to you the Chief of Police for the Frederick Police Department, Chief Edward Hargis.
Thank you, Tom. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the graduation ceremony for the 61st Police Academy class. I want to thank our distinguished guests, Sheriff Jenkins, Chief Kiefer, our guest speaker, U.S. Attorney Rob Herr. Also in attendance, I see Chief Coe from the Division of Fire and Rescue Services for Frederick County. I see Chief DeGrange from Smithburg, and Lieutenant Wayne Walk-Smith from Maryland State Police. I want to thank all of our law enforcement agencies for being here to celebrate the graduation with our new officers. I also want to take this opportunity to thank Alderman Russell, as well as Mayor O'Connor and the rest of the Board of Aldermen for their continued support of the Frederick Police Department, as well as the Frederick Police Academy. Working together has allowed us to build a premier training program that serves the needs of the agencies in the state of Maryland. The 61st Academy class was under the direction of Support Services Division Commander Lieutenant Herr. Sergeant Meyer was a class supervisor, Assistant Supervisor Corporal Sullivan, and the lead instructor for the class is Officer Greg Santangelo. Many other officers, volunteers, and organizations assisted in providing the classroom instruction and participated in the practical scenarios to make sure our students received the required training. The passing of their knowledge and skills have provided the foundation for the student officers' training, and this information will be put to practical use throughout their careers. I want to thank you all for a job well done. To the family members, friends, and colleagues of our graduates, I want to welcome you to the graduation ceremony and also thank you for the support that you have provided to our student officers. The job of a law enforcement officer is often stressful, demanding, and dangerous. You've seen the stories in the news of officers being injured and in some cases losing their lives while responding to calls. But I ask you to remember that police work is not just a job, it truly is a calling, and your loved one will now have the honor of waking up, going to work, and making a difference in the communities that they serve. They will now have the opportunity to make their neighborhoods safer, save lives, return stolen property to the owner, and arrest criminals. They're also going to have the satisfaction of helping someone fix a problem or develop a solution that'll make a situation just a little bit better. The same support that you have provided during the academy will also be needed throughout their careers. The best way to accomplish this for you as a family member or a friend of our graduates, as well as the new officers, is to maintain an open line of communication, spend time together, participate in activities that are outside of the work setting. If you find that either of you are struggling with the effects of the new job, please seek help as there are resources readily available to assist. The student officers' time at the academy has allowed them to better understand their strengths and weaknesses. They now know the right mindset that it takes to work in this field. They know that they will be making a positive impact in their communities. However, they will need to remember that the value of their service is only defined by the person that they've helped. What will become a routine task for the officer could make a huge difference in the life of a person who has never had contact with an officer before. Our graduates respect the risks and dangers associated with a career in law enforcement. They have trained hard and know that they will have to stay in good physical shape, maintain their training and tactics, and always be prepared to defend themselves and others. This ceremony is about celebrating our graduates, their commitment, hard work, dedication, and teamwork that they have displayed as members of the 61st Academy class. Each graduate has demonstrated that they are capable of making disciplined decisions and then turning those decisions into disciplined actions. They've demonstrated their proficiency in applying law and criminal procedure, shown that they can remain calm in chaotic situations, and are capable of managing complicated scenarios. To our new officers, I asked them this morning if anybody wanted to go around for a second round of the academy, and I didn't get any takers. Anybody want to go a second time? No, still the same. Your life as an officer is going to be interrupted countless times by a dispatcher who has some type of clairvoyant skill, as they know just when you're sitting down to get something to eat, walking into a restroom, or just as you thought you were finishing your shift for the day. They will call your unit number over the radio, and you will respond. You're going to drop what you're doing, and you're going to respond. That is your new normal. It's what we do and have done since the beginning of the police profession. You've been trained and are now prepared to run towards danger, even as others are running away from it. Today, you are officially joining this elite group. No other profession has as many expectations placed upon it as law enforcement. Because of the environment we live in today, your agency, the courts, the media, and the citizens that you serve could scrutinize every action that you take. But remember, even with everything that you hear in the media today, law enforcement is still one of the most respected professions in the U.S. To maintain this respect, you must live by the core values of honesty, integrity, and professionalism, both on duty and off. Remember that the credibility of an agency will never exceed the credibility of its officers. Build trust with those that you come in contact with, and remember that our most important mission is to provide service to those that need our help. Uphold the law, be professional, be fair, and respect those that we serve, regardless of race, religion, or gender. Be the officer that makes the right decision for the right reason. Take only the necessary action each and every time to accomplish the mission. Continue to reach for your goals, overcome the obstacles, and dedicate yourself to hard work, drive, and determination. Training isn't something that you did, it's something that you do. Wear your seatbelt, wear your vest, and maintain physical fitness. Your training doesn't end today. This is only the beginning. Take what you've learned here at the Police Academy and build upon it, and go out and make a difference in your community. So as you hit the streets tomorrow, know that you will have to walk away from that meal that you just sat down for. You aren't going home on time again for the third time this week, or you're missing out on being with friends and family on the 4th of July because you're scheduled to work. But I want you to keep in mind the response that you gave when you're asked, why do you want to be a police officer? And you said, I want to make a difference in my community, I want to help people, and I will do whatever is necessary to protect those I serve. To the members of Class 61, I want to congratulate you on your graduation and wish you much success in your new career.
Thank you, Chief Hargis. Our keynote speaker today is U.S. Attorney Robert Herr. Robert K. Herr is the 48th United States Attorney for the District of Maryland. As the Chief Federal Law Enforcement Officer in Maryland, he oversees the investigation and the litigation of all criminal and civil cases brought on behalf of the United States in the District of Maryland. Before becoming U.S. Attorney on April 9, 2018, Mr. Herr served as the Justice Department's Principal Associate Deputy Attorney General, assisting Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein with oversight of all components of the department. Mr. Herr served as an Assistant U.S. Attorney in the District of Maryland from 2007 to 2014, where he prosecuted gang violence, firearms offenses, and narcotics trafficking, as well as white-collar offenses. And prior to that, he served as Special Assistant and later counsel to Christopher Wray, then Assistant Attorney General in charge of the Justice Department's Criminal Division. From 2005 to 2007 and from 2014 to 2017, Mr. Herr practiced law with King and Spalding in Washington, D.C. Mr. Herr began his legal career as a law clerk for the late William H. Rehnquist, Chief Justice of the United States, and Judge Alex Kozinski of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit. Mr. Herr received his A.B. degree, magna cum laude, with highest honors from Harvard College, and his J.D. from Stanford Law School, where he served as executive editor of the Stanford Law Review, Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Robert Herr.
Well, thank you, Tom, for that kind introduction. And I know when folks hear the term keynote speaker, they think this guy is going to go on forever. But I promise you, I'm not going to go on forever. These will be fairly brief remarks. I am so grateful to Chief Hargis for inviting me to be with you all on this happy day. And some of my remarks are going to be directed in this direction, but quite a few of my remarks are going to be directed to 3 o'clock, to you all, the men and women of the hour. So first of all, my warmest congratulations to all of you, today's graduates. But congrats also to your friends and family whose support you have relied on, and you're going to continue to rely on their support throughout your careers in law enforcement. This is indeed a happy occasion, and for me, it's particularly inspiring. Each of you, Isaac, Lindsay, Nicholas, Sean, Jacob, David, and Nicholas, has chosen to join one of the noblest professions there is. Your job will be to protect and to serve. Now, the words public servant are used to describe a lot of jobs these days, but you will be serving the public in the most direct way possible. You're going to be keeping people safe. So in my view, this is pretty heady and inspiring stuff, and it's why, in my experience, so many young kids say they want to be police officers when they grow up. Back when I was a kid, a police officer was the first thing that I wanted to be. It did not work out, and I ended up going to law school instead. But at least as a prosecutor, I get to work every single day with courageous police officers and federal agents. But thank goodness that the fearlessness and the selflessness and the purity of heart that children display when they say, I want to be a police officer when I grow up, thank goodness that some of that persists into adulthood for some of us, including the new graduates that we honor today. So my first and primary message to you all and to all of the sworn law enforcement officers here today is a simple one. Thank you. And it's not a message that you all hear often enough. Every single person who enjoys the freedoms and the peace and the order of civilized society owe our law enforcement officers a great debt of gratitude. Unfortunately, far too many people take for granted the men and women in law enforcement and the challenging and dangerous work that you all do every single day. You and your families never know what dangers the next call will bring. As Chief Hargis said, this job is stressful and demanding. You will face physical challenges, which require your strength and reflexes. You are going to wrestle suspects who are bigger and stronger than you are. You are going to confront violent people who are angry, high, or mentally ill. You will struggle with criminals who conceal weapons and who do not hesitate to use them. But physical fitness alone is not going to equip you to be a good cop. You're going to need resilience and a high EQ too, because you are going to encounter people at their most vulnerable. Police officers pull people out of burning vehicles, hold the hands of dying strangers, interview minors about sexual assaults, and deliver death notifications. But it doesn't stop there. Policing is also intellectually challenging. You all are going to need to make instinctive decisions on dangerous streets, applying laws and court decisions that lawyers get to debate at length in peaceful offices. Overall, you will always need to be at your best, especially when other people are at their very worst. During any given day on the job, your job description could include any of the following: protector, mediator, counselor, first aid provider, comforter, role model, diplomat, innovator, MacGyver, educator, leader, lifesaver. So for those of you who are baseball fans, some players are known as five-tool players. If you're a baseball player and you're described as a five-tool player, it means you can hit the ball well, you can hit the ball hard, you've got a good glove, you've got a strong arm, and you're fast. Well, as police officers, we are asking you to be 12-tool players. Now, of course, the role of protector is one that subjects you to the most risk on behalf of your fellow citizens. And it takes a very special kind of courage to take on that role, a special kind of commitment and self-sacrifice. Now, the horrors of the mass shootings in El Paso and Dayton earlier this month still weigh heavily on all of us. We still mourn the victims of these evil acts, but we're also proud of the police who responded to the scenes and prevented further bloodshed. And it is particularly stirring to watch the surveillance video footage from Dayton, Ohio. As the shooting started and civilians fled, you see the police charging toward the shooter, whom they quickly and skillfully neutralized. Every single American should thank God that we still have men and women like them, like all of you, who stand ready to run toward the threat and not away from it. Now, I understand that all of you have already taken the oath of office, and you have solemnly sworn to execute the office of police officer. Now, swearing an oath is no small thing. It forces us to slow down and mark with solemnity a significant challenge that we are about to take on. We do not swear oaths to do easy things. Oaths are about serious things that require real commitment and fortitude, like entering military service, like testifying in court, beginning a marriage, and becoming a police officer. I know that each of you will take your oath seriously and keep it in mind throughout your careers. Finally, I give you one practical piece of advice. When you use social media, please use good judgment. It is entirely possible to live a rewarding, fulfilling life without using social media at all. But if you have to be on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, please be smart about it. When you are typing something on your phone, you are not really alone in your house or in your car. Please think about whether you'd be okay if your mom read what you're about to post, or your grandmother, or your kids, or a defense lawyer, or every single person in the whole world. As a police officer, you represent your department and your community, and please remember that. So in closing, I want to thank you again for everything that you will do for your communities. Thank you for keeping us safe where we live and where we work. And ever since the settlers in Boston established the Night Watch in 1635, America has had a proud tradition of professionals who stand guard against those who would do us harm. And each of you are the latest in that noble line. I'm proud to work with you and your brothers and sisters in law enforcement. All of us in federal law enforcement, including the U.S. Attorney's Office, FBI, ATF, DEA, and the U.S. Marshal Service, welcome you as partners in the effort to keep our communities safe. May God bless you and keep you safe. And may God bless the United States of America and the state of Maryland. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Herr. As a token of our appreciation for meeting with the graduating class, giving them your inspiring words, and attending and speaking at the graduation, Chief Argus would like to present you with this plaque. Each student officer training class selects one of their own to speak for the class. The 61st class has awarded this honor to Officer Nicholas Giannavich from the Frederick Police Department.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for coming. I'm Nicholas Giannavich with the Frederick City Police Department, and this is a lifelong dream of mine, to be graduating from a police academy. Little did I know that I would be the one speaking for my class, so this is an honor for me. I wasn't exactly sure what to expect, but I knew that this was going to be a fun experience when on our first day, we were outside doing snow angels because someone didn't keep track of an important piece of gear. And now that I think about it, there are a few things that I don't think of the same way after my time in the academy. Superman, watching TV, or even just standing up and sitting down. Never would I have thought that I could reach exhaustion in a rest position. Feel free to ask your loved ones if you don't already know what I mean. Obviously, we're one of the Academy's smaller classes at 7 strong. That being said, there's no hiding the crowd when there are so few of us. Every day, we learned something new and got a little bit stronger. We all learned perseverance when we were waiting in our favorite plank position, waiting on a future mayor to make his way over a fence. Another lesson was in time management. We left for work early, and we got there on time. We learned that going the speed limit and stopping at stop signs were non-negotiable on the way there. After boxing, we learned that we could take punches and bloody noses and still fight on. And no matter how busy a day we had, Officer Santangelo always made sure we had time to get outside. We learned how to shoot, drive, fight, and even talk. Funny thing, next time you're fighting with your significant other, try telling them to calm down. My educated guess is that not only did it not work, but it had the opposite effect. Learning how to talk to and work with people in high-stress situations will surely help us on the street and might even help us at home. Even though the academy was an intense and sometimes painful experience, we made it work as a team. We are the Frederick City Police Department's 61st Academy, and I'd like to give you some insights on our interesting little family. We spend our downtime roasting each other. Our favorite show is The Office, and our favorite song is Stacy's Mom by the Generics. On even the worst day, Miller has the ability to lighten our mood and make us all laugh at ourselves, and you always know that he's got your back. However, if you find yourself looking at a smug grin, wondering if he's trying to mess with you, he is. Thomas is that loyal friend that we could all talk to, and after an he undoubtedly had some wisdom to impart to you. Just don't ask him about that one time in Miami. Smith knows when to be serious, and his look says it all. There isn't another person I'd be happier to have beside me on scene to scare the bad ideas out of any would-be fighter. Bonneville's the handyman with show muscles, able to fix anything and never shied away from some hard work. He's always prepared with a joke and an office reference for every situation. Cop's an open book and isn't afraid to tell you what she's thinking, even if it's a little bit awkward. She's incredibly warm-hearted and would do anything for you if you asked. Fernholz is arguably the smartest of our class, but undoubtedly the wittiest. Jokes aside, if you didn't know something, he's the guy that you went to for the answer. And you probably could have guessed that my specialty is that I talked a lot. I talked myself into way more trouble than I wanted, but I always got a good laugh out of it. Looking back on it, it was a fun experience that none of us ever want to have again. We will carry the lessons that we learned with us in the academy for the rest of our lives. And thanks to Corporal Sullivan and the Frederick News Post, we can watch some of our greatest moments in high definition. With the support of our friends and family, we kept coming in and giving it our all. I think I speak for all of us when I say that we wouldn't be where we are today without your support. So thank you all for coming and for supporting us in our careers. Lastly, we would like to present this plaque to the Academy staff to commemorate our time in the Academy.
Good job, Officer Giannavich. It's become a tradition to honor those student officers whose performance was top of the class. The Chiefs Awards of Excellence recognizes those student officers who scored the highest in academic and in skills performance. Chief Hargis, will you help me? Would Officer Sean Fernholz please approach the podium? attaining the highest overall academic class average, and thus receiving the award for outstanding academic achievement during the 61st Student Officer Training class is Officer Fernholz from the Frederick Police Department. Would Officer Isaac Bonneville please approach the podium? Receiving the award for Outstanding Skills Achievement, which consists of the highest overall score on multiple firearms courses, physical training, defensive tactics, and emergency vehicle operations, is Officer Isaac Bonneville from the Frederick Police Department. Congratulations, Officer Bonneville. Chief, you're going to help me in a second with the Citizens Award. Don't go too far. This award is presented to those citizens who have contributed to the department by volunteering their expertise, rendering assistance to the department, or have contributed financially to support the mission of the department. The recipient of this award has provided the department with invaluable assistance in briefing the 60th and 61st Police Academy on the benefits of building resiliency skills to promote officer well-being. This training enabled the student officers' ability to perform under extreme stress while also providing tools to help improve their quality of life. The recipient also developed a performance improvement training program for the 61st Academy class, which helped to reduce stress and boost officer performance during firearms and emergency vehicle operations course training. The recipient of this year's Citizens Award goes to Judy Buchanan. One of the first lessons presented to the student officers is that of teamwork, the ability to work together to accomplish the mission. To represent that commitment, each class is tasked with designing and creating a class flag that accompanies them during their endeavors. The 61st Academy's flag, which represents the end of their student officer phase and the beginning of their police career, will be furled. The furling of the flag will be conducted by Officer Bonneville of the Frederick Police Department. At the completion of the furling of the flag, Officer Bonneville will present the flag to Sergeant Meyer. It will be retired and displayed at the training facility with the flags from previous academies. Prior to the start of today's ceremony, each graduate was administered the oath of office for their respective jurisdictions. For purposes of this ceremony, the graduates will publicly take the oath of honor as a symbolic statement of their commitment to ethical conduct. Will Chief Ed Hargis please come forward?
Raise your right hand. On my honor, I will never betray my badge, my integrity, my character, or the public trust. I will always have the courage to hold myself and others accountable for our actions. I will always uphold the Constitution, my community, and the agency I serve.
I now invite our dignitaries and family members to assist while each officer accepts their badge of authority and receives their graduation certificates. Will Chief Hargis, Alderman Russell, Sheriff Jenkins, and Chief Kiefer come forward, please? When I call the student officer's name, if the family member pinning on their badge could contact the honor guard member to my right to be escorted up to the stage. Officer Isaac Benjamin Bonneville, Frederick Police Department. Officer Bonneville is from Unionville, Maryland. He graduated from Norwich University, the Military College of Vermont, with a BA in criminal justice. Prior to the academy, Isaac was a pipe fitter plumber. He is serving in the Maryland Army National Guard as a weapons squad leader. Pinning on his badge is his father, retired Maryland State Trooper Jim Bonneville. Officer Lindsay Morgan Kopp. Officer Kopp was raised in Wellsboro, PA by her parents, Larry and Kathy Kopp. She has 2 sisters, Jessica Gay and Taylor Park, and 5 nieces and nephews. Lindsay graduated from Lock Haven University with a science degree in athletic training, which gave her the opportunity to work with multiple pro hockey teams. She also worked as an athletic trainer at St. John's Catholic Prep and North Hagerstown High prior to becoming a police officer. During Lindsay's free time, she enjoys vacationing with her family, hiking, and participating in marathons. Pinning on her badge will be her uncle, Kenneth Achenbach. Officer Nicholas Branko Giannavich. Officer Giannavich was born in Bethesda in 1998. Nicholas graduated from Middletown High, worked for his family's 2 businesses doing private security with Giannavich and Associates and selling equipment at Spartan Tactical. Nicholas currently lives in Middletown, Maryland. Pinning on his badge is his father and former law enforcement officer, David Giannavich. Officer Sean Allen Fernholtz. Officer Fernholtz grew up in Anne Arundel County, Maryland with parents John and Tracy and younger brother Eric. After high school, he obtained 2 degrees in psychology from Hood College in 2010 and 2012. Prior to joining the Frederick Police Department, he worked with children and adults with mental health for 7 years. He currently lives with his wife of 6 years, Brittany, and his 2 children, Jarrett and Corrine. He enjoys spending time with his family, going on hikes. In his free time, he coaches high school soccer. Pinning on his badge is his wife, Brittany Fernholtz. For the Frederick County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Jacob Miller. Deputy Miller, 26, will join the Frederick County Sheriff's Office. Miller served in the U.S. Navy as a Master-at-Arms after graduating high school from Cambridge Isanti High in Cambridge, Minnesota. He moved to Hagerstown in 2016 with his wife, Ingrid. Pinning on his badge will be his wife, Ingrid. Deputy Nicholas Edwards Thomas. Deputy Thomas grew up in the Anne Arundel County area. In 2004, he graduated from Mount St. Joseph High. In 2007, he began serving his community as a volunteer firefighter EMT. Nick was hired by the Frederick County Sheriff's Office as a corrections officer in 2013. While employed as a corrections officer, he joined the Frederick County Sheriff's Office Honor Guard Unit and became a certified instructor for the Frederick County Corrections Academy. Pinning on his badge will be his mother, Mary Thomas, and his fiancée, Deanna Topper. For the Hagerstown Police Department, Officer David W. Smith. Officer Smith, born in Fort Worth, Texas. His parents are David and Ginger Smith. He is married to Danielle Smith and is a devoted father to Olivia, Emerson, and Emma. Officer Smith is a U.S. Navy combat veteran and former federal police officer. Officer Smith received his Associate of Science degree from FCC and is in the process of completing his Bachelor of Science degree in Criminal Justice from UMUC. Officer Smith enjoys working on his boat, fishing, and bow hunting in his spare time. Officer Smith's badge will be pinned on by his mother, Ginger, and his wife, Danielle. Let's have one more round of applause for our graduates. The training staff would like to present a video tribute to the student officers of the 61st Academy graduating class. At this time, would our distinguished guests please take a seat in the first two rows of the auditorium. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to present the graduates of the Frederick Police Department's 61st Student Officers Training Class. Chaplain Rob Apgar-Taylor, will you please come forward and deliver the benediction?
Let us pray. As you have blessed us, holy God, to be a blessing for others, now send us forth in the grace of your peace to give ourselves for our communities and our world, through our lives and through our service. Amen.
The Frederick Police Department would like to thank the Weinberg Center for the use of their facility today. They invite you to join the graduates for a reception in the lobby immediately following this ceremony. Thanks for coming out today. This concludes our ceremony. Thank you.